Hey collective, well, your host pulled a typical Ron bonehead thing, so I was low on memory with my phone and it wouldn't let me download the reading that I did this morning. It was almost 45 minutes long. So when I went to go ahead and erase all my previous videos to clear a way for new ones, I ended up erasing the one I did today as well by accident. So yeah, so what I'm doing in this, I'll make it very short, is I'm just going to go over the information that I had pulled for that reading, okay? And I started off by doing a 3 tarot card pull first to get a general idea of the overall energy here. And let me see, this is what I got. First off, I got the 4 of Cups. This is the first card that I pulled, okay? Now, the 4 of Cups is basically feeling monotonous or feeling like you're in a state of monotony, if you will. Boredom, depression. You have a loss of focus, missed opportunities, and potential stagnation. That's the way you're feeling about it, okay? We'll get into that. Or could be somebody that's related to you that feels that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. Feel free to flip the energy, you know, where it's relevant here. The next card I pulled was the 9 of Swords. Okay. Now the 9 of Swords talks about feeling overwhelmed by fears. It goes along with the first card quite a bit. Having nightmares and anxiety, lots of self-doubt, fear, feeling of guilt, and lack of sleep. Okay. And again, this could be you or somebody that's in your energy field, okay? And the last card that I pulled was the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups. Now this one talks about desire to leave something behind, abandoning something, wanting to escape, maybe not having quite the strength to do it yet, needing to travel and move. Now again, these could be your energies or somebody related to you in some shape or fashion. But it's definitely, once again, very cohesive with both the oracle cards I pulled at the end of the reading, as well as the energy that I pulled today in terms of the runes. So to reflect back quickly before I run out of what little juice I have left, on Sunday, the overall energy was Othala, okay? Now Othala talks again about home, house, dwelling, inheritances, private property, personal private property. It talks about, prosperity. It talks about spiritual heritages and values and aid in physical and spiritual journeys, okay? That's what Othala stands for. On Monday, we had the god Tyr show up with his rune, which is Tiwaz. It's not coming out so clear, but it looks like an arrow, okay? That's the god Tyr's rune. And it talks about basically male masculinity, warrior attributes, traits, characteristics. Duty, honor, justice, leadership, authority, victory, success, and success in legal matters, which might be attached to the inheritance we're talking about in the first rune. Now, on Tuesday, we pulled the same rune we pulled every single week without fail, and that's Esau. Now, Esau basically stands for stasis, frozen, frigidity, separation, energy loss, feeling confused, having ill feelings, challenges, frustration, psychological blocks, grievances, and the need to turn inward and seek clarity, using your intuition. So it looks like you're having or the other person in your life, perhaps somebody in your energy, is having some problems coming to a conclusion about something like we've talked the last couple of weeks, okay? And it's causing you basically to be in a frozen state of mind. Now, what we pulled for Wednesday, again, was the god Tyr, or Tiwaz. Okay, this time we pulled it with the other stones. And I've already told you what it means. It's basically male attributes, traits, characteristics for positive masculinity. So it's informing us that we need to man up, in this particular week. We need to step up to the plate, be responsible for our actions, and the decisions that we choose to make or have to make. Okay, that's basically what it's getting at, especially in lieu of the energy we pulled out with the tarot. Now, what we pulled on Thursday was the rune Nauthis. It's hard to, it's not focusing in so well. Yeah, well, these rose quartz runes are hard to see. Anyway, it looks like a cross with a bent horizontal cross beam. And it stands for needs and necessities, feeling restricted, needing patience at this time, overcoming conflicts and obstacles. We see that a lot. Possible delays. But it also talks about those delays or all of that conflict is resistance that leads to strength. It's just like, building up your muscles. You have to work your muscles beyond, fatigue and exhaustion or whatever so that they will, grow and so on and so forth. Or if you're, trying to become proficient at something, you got to work at it until the state of exhaustion in some cases, and just keep working and working if you want to be better than the other person who's also trying to work as hard. And that will make you better prepared for whatever the conflict, challenge, or obstacle is that you have to, to deal with. So, again, you got to keep in mind, as hard as it is to see it that way, and I find myself in that same state of mind many times, these things are not being done to you. They're being done for you. It's to teach you something. So try to go in and find out what the lesson is that you need to learn. Learn from it. Start applying it so that you can move on to the next cycle. Complete this one. Get your passing grade. Pass your test. Move forward. That's what this is all about. All right. So what we pulled as far as Sunday for today, the Friday energy, was Odin's rune, which is Ansus. Mighty Odin showed up. Okay. Actually, he showed up a second time today too. And that basically is his rune, so it stands for God, ancestral God, or in this case, Odin. It talks about the mouth and communication. Basically, that the power of life and death was in the tongue, okay, using a Christian metaphor. So use your words very wisely is another way of putting it. That's what magic is, right? You're using words. You're putting intent behind words. Yes, it's done typically in some kind of symbolic, ritualistic fashion, but it's the words and the intent behind those words which is magnified by some other form of perhaps sacrifice or whatever, to give it more energy, if you will, or to focus that energy more explicitly to whatever your desired outcome is. But again, I remind everybody that there are certain laws in the universe, and one of them is not only the law of reciprocity, but the law of, first law of conservation of energy, where it talks about for every, action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, which is another way of looking at or describing karma. If you're putting out negative energy, guess what you're going to get back inevitably? Sure, those dark magicians may get away with some of this stuff for a while. God gives us room to see the error of our ways, and he gives us little clues along the way, letting us know that we're living in error. If we refuse to see his examples and his instruction over and over again, he will force you to sit down and listen. Okay, and I know people personally are going through that phase right now. They refuse to repent and relent, and now they're being sat down, so to speak. That doesn't mean they're still not trying. They are the little engines who couldn't, but they are being sat down nonetheless. They're losing a lot. What it also means is inspirations, wisdom, taking advice, tests. It talks about enthusiasm, speech again, the power of your words, and good health, harmony, and truth, both the pursuit and the acceptance of it. Okay, as you would expect from the supreme Norse god. What I got for the present energy for today when I pulled it was the rune Ingwaz. Now, this is the god Freyr. Okay, now again, Freyr is talks about, you know, male masculinity and so on. You know, I said that Tyr is, and he is, basically. He's the great sky god, and he's the one that oversees that rune. But when it comes to actual male masculinity, as most people would envision it, being protection, standing in the gap, providing, and things of that nature, as well as, you know, the sexual prowess, fertility, and things like that, that would be Ing, otherwise known as the god Freyr, okay? Who's the brother of Freya, the wife of Odin. So those are the male attributes that we pulled for today's energy. Very good energy. As far as inspirations, what I got was Yera. Now, Yera, where is it at? I keep forgetting where the camera is on my phone. I've got it going horizontally this time. So Yera basically talks about, finally reaping the harvest of your earlier efforts. So if you put a bunch of effort into something and have yet to actually have that manifested, it's coming. That's what that is telling us. Now, the other influence I got was Raidho. Raidho in reverse. Now, Raidho in reverse is not overly great, energy. It's like the devil, on one shoulder, the angel on yet another shoulder, okay? So Raidho in reverse, and just to make sure I give you the accurate information, basically talks about an upset in plans. It also talks about needing to control yourself, possible delays yet again, unexpected travel, possibly being in your very near future, and also what it talks about is lust, or actually feeling lost. I'm sorry, not lust. Get my mind out of the gutter. All this talk about sex. I mean, a lot of these runes, that's what they talk about, sexual desire, including, Ansus and, Tiwas. Well, Freyr too, actually. All the gods. Yeah, Norse gods are a little different than what we're looking at in most of the Abrahamic faiths in terms of being very much like us. Sometimes they eat and drink a little too much. They do war with each other, as does the Christian, God and everything else. And when Christ comes back, he's coming back with his sword, right? Very much like, in fact, it's described almost identical to the Lord Kartikeya when he comes back from the Hindu belief. Again, riding his white horse and his flaming sword, slaying the evil, if you will, of this world. So again, there are so many similarities in the world's religions once you actually do some research. All right, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Now, the overall energy as a whole to reflect for this week was Perthro. And Perthro talks about chance, games of chance, games, gaming, lot cup. It also talks about femininity, or those things which are secret, if you will, and those things of closely talking about femininity. And those are things such as nurturing and so on, but also they are closer in their abilities to perceive extra-dimensional things, if you will, spiritual things, more creative in their overall mindset, or femininity is. So talk about hidden occult abilities, intuition, knowing one's fate, and knowing the future, things of that nature. And again, we all have masculine and feminine traits and attributes, and our job really is to balance them out. If we're all completely masculine, we're not balanced, and it's not healthy. Okay, it's not. We have to have the creative side. We have to have the nurturing side to temper the overall aggressive, attributes of complete masculinity, or if you will, unhealthy masculinity, so to speak. So this is why balance is really reflected in every occult, esoteric, hermetic, as well as religious belief system when you look at it as a whole. Now finally, our future energy for today was again Odin's room, Ansus, only this time it was in the reverse. So Ansus in the reverse, not quite as good. And again, Ansus in the reverse basically stands for trickery, interferences, deception, and dissipation of your energy or of some goal that you're trying to manifest. So keep in mind, once again, as far as our future is concerned, it is not written in stone. And knowing it in advance gives you the opportunity, and again, this is the benefit of divination, to change a potential outcome of something that you don't want to happen. So if you don't want these things to happen, when these kinds of energies start to manifest in your life, then you can actually overcome them, knowing this in advance, by preparing in advance. You can do that through meditation, through prayer, through concentrated efforts and everything else. All of these things are important. And you can see how all of that is reflected again in the tarot cards that I pulled as well. All of that energy today. So it is there. Potential for this negative energy exists, or it exists with somebody in your energetic field. That's the way it is in this particular case for me. I know who this is talking about, okay? And I dare not say, but they know and they watch. So I know that they'll pick this up. Now, another thing that I picked up when I got some hidden truth in the hidden truth oracles was somebody believes that you two were both too young, basically, when you were together once upon a time. Now, you're going to have, whoever it was that first came to mind when I said that, that's who it is, okay? And that'll be obviously different for each and every one of you. Another one that I got in terms of the hidden truth oracle was that I was grateful for the spiritual lessons that I learned. Okay, now presuming that's true, this person or yourself have grown from that experience and you recognize it as it really is. You are indeed becoming more spiritually mature. And I say congratulations to you on that. It speaks a lot. You've had to go through a lot to get to that point. So, kudos to you. Also, what we got here in terms of the love oracles was I got not enough. Now, this talks about frustration in a relationship. That could be you, but again, this could be this other person who you were with once upon a time. They also are suffering from lack of confidence. They like to self-sabotage. They have fear as well as ego issues, and they're also quite jealous. So, again, you want to be very careful about that. This could be you. This could be that other person that you were thinking of, or this could be a third party that's attached to this person or yourself. Okay? And again, it'll be different for each and every one of you. Because I say that, I pulled out another card, the snake. Now, what this one is all about talks about somebody being in competition with you, and they are an enemy. They believe themselves to be very clever. They are very malicious. They Spirit wants you to make sure that you are paying attention to your surroundings, look over your shoulder, not to put fear into you, because people like this, although they are very much capable of doing a great deal of damage and harm, they usually do it in the shadows. I'll just say it, No, I won't say it. I'm not going to form judgment. I'll just say, whoever you are out there, you still have the potential while you still have breath. And I'm telling you right now, to the person that I am personally addressing, you need to take care of this issue because you may not have much longer. Now, I know that's going to prompt you even more to come my way or towards the collective. This is basically referring to the third party of that person that you were just thinking about. Okay, for the cards I pulled out, the love oracles and the hidden truths. They have a third party, and we talked about that yesterday as well. So just keep that in mind. If you're considering bringing them back into your life, you're also bringing in all of their baggage. So, and I just want you to remember that because I owe that to you. I'm not going to candy coat this energy. I was given it for a reason, and I have a responsibility to inform you as such. Not to fear, and of course it'll affect each one of you differently in terms of what's happening in your life, at least if you're aware of it. Now, if somebody pops up from your past, I would be very cautious. I would trust my intuition, try to put aside my feelings at first, especially if this was a lustfully, inspired type of relationship, or maybe you might have had a very, very strong tie to somebody. It was powerful because of both the physical feelings and, it's a psychological thing. It's like Stockholm syndrome. They could create a lot of turmoil in your life mixed with a lot of very good times. And they use that as a form of manipulation. If they're doing it knowingly, they should be basically ignored, and you need to keep as far away from them as possible because they're accomplished at manipulation. They're liars, they're cheaters, they're manipulators, and they're basically what we would call energy vampires. I would stay as far away from them as possible, at least until they're healed. So these are some of the warnings that I wanted to make sure that I got to you, even though I lost 45 minutes of footage from this morning, and this was only half the time, which is fine. General messages, this time I had a chance to rehearse them because I already did it. So we got straight to the point, and you didn't get as much rhetoric from me, which is a blessing in disguise. Went straight to the point. So I hope this is a blessing to you all, and I'm sorry it wasn't as positive as I hoped. Hopefully tomorrow's energy will be a clearing of some of the negativity, and maybe we've already gotten through or will get through some of the things that are being referred here. But this is a timeless message, so it may not have happened to you yet. You may be in the midst of this right now, or it may be coming in the future. Depends on where you are in the timeline, okay? This is my current energy, and it may be why it's so strong. Even though I pray, that this is for the collective as a whole, my energy is part of that as well. So, I just want you to know that means if you're watching this will affect you as well at some point, if not already, okay? And I wish you all the very, very best. And again, I've tried to respond to everybody who has written to me so far. I'm trying to stay on top of it. And since I'm still a young station and everything else, I don't have a whole lot of comments yet, more than a couple of handfuls. And I address them almost instantly, or at least, when I'm not charging my phone. So, and I thank all those who have commented and given their input and, shared some of their own stories and so on that are, inspiring, and they're good, for me to hear as well. So, peace, love, and I'll see y'all in Valhalla.